Dear faithful Catholics, please listen carefully to this important letter written to you. I beg you only 10 minutes. Open letter, Maria Supplicans, concerning the truth about Pope Francis and his moral and doctrinal errors. Part 1, the 22nd of February 2024, Feast of the Church of St. Peter. Dear faithful Catholics throughout the world, may Mary the Supplicant obtain for us from Jesus the strength and courage to publicly proclaim the truth about Pope Francis and his moral and doctrinal errors. As Our Lady of Anguera said, many cardinals, bishops, and priests are afraid to tell you this truth. The 1st of January 2020, she said, "Dear children, many choosing to defend the truth will retreat out of fear." We saw this recently with the publication of the declaration Fiducia Supplicans. The U.S. Conference of Catholic Bishops, the 18th of December 2023, did not dare to say that Pope Francis, Cardinal Victor Manuel Fernandez, Prefect of the Dicastery for the Doctrine of the Faith, and Father Armando Mateo, Secretary, had committed a serious error by publishing this declaration. The same goes for the Bishops' Conference of France, the 10th of January 2024. The same goes also for Cardinal Fridolin Ambongo, January 11, 2024, who stated that homosexual couples cannot be blessed in Africa without saying that this is also morally unacceptable throughout the Church. However, Jesus and Mary call us to preach the truth without fear. The 1st of January 2020, Our Lady said, "My Jesus needs your public and courageous testimony." The 8th of April 2021, she said, "My Jesus needs men and women of courage so that, following the example of John the Baptist, they may announce the gospel and defend his church." We are in Lent, a time dedicated to prayer, fasting, and mercy. Due to my love for Pope Francis and his eternal salvation, I recently encouraged Christians to offer God 40 days of prayer and fasting for Francis' total conversion to the truth. As an act of mercy, I would now like to encourage all Christians to publicly criticize Pope Francis' moral and doctrinal errors, which through relativism and situation ethics attack marriage, the family, and the sacraments. Why is such criticism necessary? It is because of Francis' obstinacy in maintaining his errors and continuing to teach them. Since 2016, already 8 years, he has refused to rectify his errors despite the evidence and the many fraternal and filial corrections from his daughters and sons, university professors, experts in theology, morality, and canon law, who have invited him to do so. Confer, open letter to the College of Cardinals, the 29th of June 2016, 45 signatories. Filial correction to Pope Francis, July 16, 2017, 62 signatories. Open letter to the bishops, April 2019, 20 signatories. Declaration Virgen Santissima de Guadalupe, Mater Veritatis Salutaris, December 12, 2021, 58 signatories. My filial correction, 29th of June 2023. Filial appeal to all the cardinals and bishops of the Catholic Church, February 2, 2024. 92 signatories, etc. Public criticism is also necessary to lead to the truth those Christians who are still in the dark about Francis' errors. This public criticism is in fact a filial correction addressed by the sons and daughters of the Church to Pope Francis and will help him to quickly correct his errors. Jesus himself encourages us to do so. In Matthew 18, Jesus said, "If your brother sins, go and tell him his fault between you and him alone. If he does not listen, take 1 or 2 others along with you. If he refuses to listen to them, tell the church. Christian tradition has also praised the courage of St. Paul and the humility of St. Peter during the public filial correction in Antioch. In Galatians 2, Paul said, "When Cephas came to Antioch, I opposed him to his face because he clearly was wrong." St. Augustine and St. Thomas Aquinas too recall the need for public filial correction. In the Summa Theologica 2.2, question 33, article 4, Thomas said, "If there were any danger to the faith, superiors would have to be rebuked by inferiors, even in public." Augustine's glosses explains, "Peter himself shows by his example to those who have the preeminence, if it happened to them to deviate from the right path, not to refuse to be corrected, even by the inferiors." God the Father also reminded St. Catherine of Siena of the charitable obligation of public fraternal and filial correction. In Dialogo della Divina Provvidenza, Trattato dell'Orazione, the chapter 105, God said, "If he persists in not correcting himself, you can let it be known to the mystical body of the Holy Church." Dear faithful Catholics, today, the 22nd of February 2024, Feast of the Church of St. Peter, I would like, with humility and respect, to tell you the truth about the one who is currently sitting in this chair, because he is not who you believe him to be. Indeed, many Christians, blinded by their love for Pope Francis, have stopped using their intelligence and believe that he is a faithful successor to St. Peter. But the reality is quite different. This is painful to say, but I must say it. Pope Francis is a heretic, a false doctor, a false pastor, a false prophet, a false pope, a new Judas, a new Martin Luther, a new devil, and is probably a member of ecclesiastical masonry or is influenced by ecclesiastics who are members of it. Obviously, what has just been said is shocking and surprising for those who do not yet know the truth about Pope Francis. However, the following lines will confirm this truth. The introductory part of this open letter is published in the first week of Lent. In the second week, the second part will be shared and will give proof of Francis' heresies. In the third week, I will explain why Pope Francis is a false doctor, a false pastor, and a false prophet. Then, in the fourth week of Lent, I will show why Francis is a false pope. The fifth week will offer a text revealing how Francis today plays the same role as Martin Luther and the devil. And finally, in the sixth week of Lent, we will see the reasons why Francis is probably a member of ecclesiastical masonry or is influenced by ecclesiastics who are members of it. Why am I so sure of telling you the truth? Firstly, because this truth is based clearly and unambiguously on the words and actions of Francis, which any intellectually honest Christian can verify. Secondly, because since I began to speak publicly about Francis' moral and doctrinal errors, the 21st of November 2020, I have received 5 death threats and more than 20 acts of intimidations, messages containing veiled threats from unknown people, shadowing and chasing the streets, etc. Finally, because for the past 2 years, social network X, Twitter, has been restricting the promotion and distribution of my publication by imposing unfair restriction on my accounts @Jesusmary, @Jean-Michel and @fatherjmm. For example, On numerous occasions, without notice or explanation, my accounts were inactive, or when I accessed them, I could not make a tweet in my profile because the button allowing me to do so was inactive. All the images I publish are automatically masked with the word sensitive content, even though they are often pious images of Jesus, Mary, and the saints. Despite my complaints and my X Premium subscription, these unfair restrictions have not stopped. At present, the X Premium subscription option has been removed from my accounts. This is all very strange because the total number of followers on my free accounts is only 3,000. Why is X Twitter treating me so unfairly if it is not because I'm telling the truth? What deal has X Twitter made with the Vatican to silence the truth? Has Elon Musk, the owner of X Twitter, not publicly declared that he is in favor of free speech? As I conclude the first part of this open letter, what advice would I give to Catholics who have just read it? Firstly, do not trust Pope Francis, because he is leading you down a path that is the opposite of God's path. Secondly, pray that the Lord will give Francis the grace during this Lenten season to recognize his errors and correct them. Thirdly, do not leave the Catholic Church, for it does not belong to Francis, but to Jesus Christ, who has promised to be always present in the back of St. Peter. In Matthew 28, Jesus said, "I am with you always until the end of the age." Signed, your African brother, Father Jean-Vier, pen name, Father Jesusmary Missigbètò, my mail, fatherjmm@gmail.com, present with the name Father Jesusmary on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Truth, Thread, Instagram, and TikTok. God bless you.